patron saint festivity, which is Saint Isidro, the local saint of Madrid, whose festivity is the 15th of May. Okay, so there is a bullfighting every day in the 9th century. By the way, here, look to the right-hand side. This is one of the typical restaurants with tiles decorated with scenes of bullfighting. The bullfighting tradition is something very old in Spain. Bulls are traditional Mediterranean animals. If we go to the archaeological museum, you can find sandy pixels of bulls made by the Phoenicians, by the Greeks, and in the Middle Ages they used bulls for kind of tournaments, but the bullfightings in the way we know them nowadays, they started in the second half of the 18th century. It was in the south of Spain, in the city of Ronda, the region of Andalusia, that the family of Matados Romero established the rules of the modern bullfightings, and they still follow that rules. In every bullfighting, you go to Ronda, you will see the oldest bull ring in the world, which is there, and it was Pedro Romero, the one that established the modern bullfighting with a bullfighting with 6 bulls and 3 matadors. Each one kills 2 bulls. In Spain they always kill the bull, not in other places, not in Portugal, but in Spain they still kill the bulls. This is why the bullfightings nowadays are so controversial. Actually in the last 10 years the bullfighting source has been reduced less than 50% because many people don't like the killing of the animals. The construction itself is very nice. It's typical imitation of the Islamic style with the bodies, with the tiles, with the bricks. The bullfighting in Madrid is on the eastern side of the city, and now we go to the north. And we will go now to the financial exit. The traffic today is terrible because it's a Friday afternoon. So it's the worst day for traffic in the city. Many people don't work on Friday afternoon and after lunch. And lunch here is quite late in comparison with other European countries who have lunch around 2 or so, and they take the car and they leave for the weekend. So there will be quite a lot of traffic today. Inhabitants in the city, with the surrounding 7 million inhabitants. The total population of Spain at that moment is 48 million people, and we are the biggest city in Spain, the second biggest capital of Europe after the German one, after Berlin, and also in surface, Madrid is the second European capital. Madrid is a very large place with foundation by a Muslim king that came from Cordoba, whose name was Mohammed I. He ordered the construction of a series of castles in that part of the Iberian Peninsula in order to protect the south of Spain from the Christians. You know that the Muslims has crossed the Strait of Gibraltar in year 711. In a few months they invaded the whole Iberian Peninsula, what today is Spain and Portugal. But for the Christians, in order to conquer the land, it took them 800 years. So it was during that period, in the 9th century, that Mohammed I built a castle in the very same place where the royal palace is nowadays, on a hill. We will pass by on a famous football stadium of Real Madrid. Capacity for 81,000 people. When they finish, it will be over 100,000 people. A very large stadium, 5 stars. In Madrid, in addition to Real Madrid, we have two other clubs in the city. One is Atlético de Madrid, also very famous, and the other one not so popular. This is called Santiago Bernabéu. Mr. Santiago Bernabéu was a football player when he was young. Later, he became the president of the club, and he was the one that commissioned the construction of the stadium. So you can see here the first skyscrapers that were built in Madrid in the 1980s. The one on the left-hand side belongs to a Bank Bilbao Vizcaya. And then you will see on the left-hand side also a beautiful white tower, which is called after the Spanish painter Picasso. By the way, this is the year of Picasso. This is the anniversary, because Picasso died 50 years ago. It's on the left-hand side. The architect was Japanese. His name was Yamasaki. He was the one that built the Twin Towers in New York City. Unfortunately, destroyed towers during the terrorist attack. And the last tower you will see on the left-hand side, it's a round tower, which is called Europe Tower, because it was finished in the year 86 when Spain joined the European Union. With the next one on the left-hand side. And now we're going to turn, so you can see a little bit closer the Bernabeu Stadium. It will be to the right-hand side. It is not possible to stop anymore. In the beginning, all the ministers of Spain were going to be here. At this moment, there are only 3 of them. Next to the fountain, there is a statue of a big hand. It was this hand was made by a Colombian artist whose name is Botero, Fernando Botero, very popular. He had an exhibition in the city, and it was so successful that he gave to Madrid 3 statues at present. One is in the airport. Politician of the 19th century, Marquis of Duero. He was a politician in the 19th century, and it was in the 19th century during the reign of Isabella II. We have 2 Isabellas in history of Madrid. The one that pulled down the walls of Madrid and started the construction of this avenue. Another politician here in the center of the avenue, whose name is Emilio Castelar. He was the president of the First Spanish Republic when that Queen Isabella II left Spain. It was the starting of the First Spanish Republic. There were 2 republics in history of Spain, one from 1871 and the other one from 1931. We are reaching now the square. The big garden on the left-hand side with the big flag. This is called the Discovery Garden because of the discovery of America. And under the garden there is a theater, there is a cultural center for temporary art exhibitions. The statue of Christopher Columbus you'll see in the middle of the square is always pointing to America. And around the statue in the pedestal you will see some scenes of the story of the discovery of America. Walking from Puerto del Sol to here. Okay, I will show you 2 more streets on the left, and this is the most important shopping area in Spain, not just in Madrid. In Spain, please all the time in the walking tour and in your free time, be aware of the pickpockets, because they are not you don't notice. Okay, most of them are young boys and especially girls. They come from Eastern Europe, you don't notice, and they pretend to be tourists. They behave like tourists, they take pictures like tourists. They are all the time chasing the tourists in the city center. And here to the right, this is the first skyscraper built in Madrid, 1929, American style. It's a telephone company. You will see very, very popular brands all around. Hotels and Spanish brands such as Zara, Mango, H&M here to the right, Primark to the right. They are the most popular brands. An official store of Real Madrid on the left, but there is another one in Puerto del Sol where we'll finish our tour. Zara here to the right. Zara. There is another one in the commercial streets you will see on the left hand side. Now in the next square to the left you will see two very, very crowded streets that go to Puerto del Sol, the place where we'll finish our tour. Actually, one of them is the second most crowded street in Europe after Oxford Street in London, because the brands you have seen here are also there. Zara, Toes. We will show you how to come here, okay? But in the same street, what is called Preciados, you cannot get confused because it's the most crowded street. You will see a crowd, and all the brands are also repeated there. Zara, Mango, even another official store of Real Madrid. If you want to find t-shirts and souvenirs, it will be here on the left-hand side. You will see the second street. It is so crowded. Well, not so much at this moment, but later it will be even more. Still many people are working. And this is the second stretch of the avenue, which is not French style anymore. This is American style, because this was built in the 1940s and 50s. Movie theaters, hotels, restaurants. Just 1 minute walking from the place where we'll finish. So in order to call this square the Spanish square, they have to put something very typical Spanish, and they decided to put a monument dedicated to Don Quixote and Cervantes, the Spanish writer, which is in the middle of the garden. Don Quixote was published in Spain 1605, and it's so important because it is considered the first modern novel in the world. Cervantes died here in Madrid in the year 1616, the 21st head. We'll see the front of the monument with the statue of the writer, Cervantes, and also in bronze the statue of Don Quixote on a horse and his faithful friend and servant Sancho Panza. Don Quixote is the story of a dreamer. He pretended to be like a medieval hero.